How will schooling in the mother city be affected? Pupils, as we know, are already at a disadvantage, having started the school year late due to the coronavirus pandemic. Let's chat now to Bronagh Hammond, Communications Director of the Western Cape Education Department. Ms. Hammond, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Midday View on ENCA. Yeah, it's not been a good 24 hours or more in Cape Town, and some schools this morning. My colleague Ronald Masinda was up and about. In some areas they closed the schools. I mean, that's not good.
Yeah, we've had a few hairy moments this morning, no doubt. We also had quite a lot of complaints regarding smoke and the fumes from the smoke. As we saw, that the whole plume that came down the mountain went over a lot of our schools in the warmer state area specifically. So we had a number of complaints, and we addressed many of the schools that were affected in the area and in the City Bowl, that if they wished to close their school and send learners home, that they could get permission to do so. And so we've had 17 schools that have asked for permission and have sent learners home subsequently. Yeah,
are those primary schools, high schools, or it's a mixed bag?
No, it's a mixed bag. But one of the big concerns is here in the City Bowl, we have a lot of commuter schools, so a lot of learners rely on public transport and taxis to come back and forth to school. So it was a concern for us that if there was a sudden evacuation that was required at schools, that they wouldn't have the transport required, or their parents couldn't just run around the corner or drive there and pick them up, because they do rely on that public transport. So we made the call that some of those commuter schools could get lifts back home immediately this morning as soon as they arrived at school, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, how long would you permit the 17 schools to remain closed?
Well, we obviously are guided by the authorities, but at the moment it seems to have subsided. The smoke definitely in the warmer state area, that's for sure. We can see it from our office buildings, but we will be guided by the authorities. We've had 31 schools saying that they have been affected by the fires itself, whether it is smoke, the smoke fumes or what it may be. Some have said that there's been some ambers that have fallen onto their astroturf, but thankfully, not like UCT, we haven't had extensive damage like that, that's for sure. And our thoughts are with our education brothers in this regard.
Okay, so it's a total of 31 schools that you as a department are aware of that have been affected in one way or another, and you've permitted 17 of them today to shut doors and get kids back home in terms of safety. And I'm sure you're monitoring the situation as well of the fire, because currently it's contained, we understand, from the authorities. We just brought our viewers that press briefing there with the various authorities, but the wind is still blowing.
Yes, yeah, I can hear the wind pumping quite significantly out there, but we believe that our schools will reopen tomorrow, so I do think that parents should be aware of that, and that they should send their children to schools. And if there is a notification to not send their children to schools, they will be receiving that from the school principal and their networks themselves. But let's just hope for the best, and that we'll see every school open tomorrow.
Yeah, that's from a communication perspective. Finally, Ms. Hammond, are you able to share with us what kind of support could you give to a school? You've mentioned smoke. I mean, I guess some classrooms would be unbearable with the smell of the smoke, and you said some embers fell on some turfs in school, so there'll be a cleaning up that has to be done. Does your department get involved in assisting the schools just to make sure that if they do resume classes tomorrow, it's all done smoothly and in a safe environment?
Well, first, if anyone knows Cape Town, they know how strong the winds are, as we can see today too. And so hopefully that a lot of the smells will dissipate throughout the night. So but obviously, schools will report their individual cases, and it depends from school to school. We had a tree that sets alight at one school, so we need to ensure that is a safe area for learners. We don't want learners to be hanging around those areas. So we're taking it on a case-by-case basis at the moment, but thankfully nothing major at this stage.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Bronagh Hammond, Communications Director, the Western Cape Education Department. Just if you've missed it, if you've just joined us, a total of 31 schools in and around that City Bowl area of Cape Town that's been affected by the fire reported some sort of problems, but nothing major. So 31 schools affected, but only 17 schools requested permission today to shut down and not have any classes at all. They are also monitoring the situation. They hope that classes would resume tomorrow. Like everybody else, monitoring this fire that's still going on, although it's been contained.